Hey everyone, I'm Schleim, and animation is awesome. I mean, have you seen Punch Punch Forever? Animation has been a staple of internet content ever since the release of Macromedia Flash. YouTubers like Hot Diggity Demon, Speedoru, FlashGits, and Ego Raptor have been YouTube giants with their great animation sketches. Wait, what the fuck is that? It's finally time to talk about more old internet drama, with the subject of this video being the worst animation channel on YouTube. FuturisticHub, aka Craftastic, aka Wildcraft, aka LifeInATent, or just his real name, Brian Martin. If you watch my video on the Reply Girls, which was posted all the way back in February, then you already know who this bastard is. But if you haven't watched it, please, I suggest you do watch it. It's a pretty cool video and I talk about Brian for a tiny bit in there. However, mind you, it is like 45 minutes, so do with that information what you will. I should also probably preface this so I don't get sued because Brian, hi Brian, you're most definitely watching this video because you're obsessed with searching your own name on Google, and I know you fucking love the courtroom. Everything that I talk about in this video is publicly available information that I've gathered online, with my page of references in the description below. Furthermore, there are some tidbits of info that has neither been confirmed nor denied because they haven't been talked about in court, therefore making that piece of info merely alleged. And I will be pointing that out when that comes by saying blank claimed or blank is alleged. It'll be pointed out to you, the viewer, when that piece of info is just alleged. Now, with that out of the way, please subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and let me info dump about this lolcow that is Brian Martin. Before traversing the YouTube platform, Brian had been allegedly involved in numerous money-making scam websites, namely Pays Forever and MrCashGift. This is allegedly evident by Brian starring in videos that were shown on the website, MrCashGift.com.
Hey, what's up you guys? My name is Brian Dennis Martin, I'm with MrCashGift.com.
Brian being quoted on the same website, and Brian also talking about it in a 2011 debate between himself and YouTuber Blackbuster Critic.
And what you're doing, you're talking about the whole cash scams. Listen, buddy, I got out of that a long time ago because I got scammed myself. But
it isn't known how many people he allegedly scammed using these websites, if any at all fell for it, but it is a noteworthy moment in his internet career, so it might as well be mentioned. On April 13th, 2006, the Video Games channel was made, but didn't upload until the 30th of May 2012. In 2012, Marco Princip signed a partnership agreement with David Tyler Moss, where Moss agreed to invest $1,500 in exchange for 30% ownership and revenue of the Video Games channel. During their control of the channel, Moss claims that Princip consistently failed and/or outright refused to pay him the 30% revenue. Princip claimed to talk to Moss to terminate their partnership, and Moss asked for an outrageous price for compensation. So Princip then stopped paying Moss to set the revenue aside for the negotiation, and this is Marco Princip's reason to not pay his business partner. A few months after all of that went down, Brian Martin entered the picture, introducing himself to Moss as Princip's business partner. Brian told Moss that his contract with Princip was null and void, and even accused Moss of extortion, which is a big exaggeration. At the same time, Princip entered into another agreement with a minor to help assist with the channel, who also failed to receive revenue promised to him, and somehow took control over the channel. I don't even understand this story, man. During 2012 and 2013, Princip, with the financial aid of Brian, sued the minor who'd at the time recently just turned 18, and in late 2013 they reached a settlement where the not-so-minor child kept control over the channel, but still needed to disperse the revenue to shareholders and co-owners. Princip and Martin, allegedly, then decided to breach this agreement, to which the kid's parents sued, and so Brian and Marco paid them $30,000 in exchange for ownership of the channel. But that's not all. Back before Princip and Moss even talked to each other about the channel, Princip entered into another agreement with a different person about the channel, Brendan Keating. Keating agreed to invest $1,500 in exchange for a 30% financial stake and the right to make decisions for an at the time unformed company named Game Guide LLC, with the agreement also stating that the company is also linked to any other YouTube channel, sponsorship, or project created by the two. Therefore, Keating also owns 30% of the video games channel, with Princip confirming this in a 2014 email sent to Keating. Moss and Keating then filed the suit, alleging common law fraud, breach of fiduciary duty, breach of partnership agreement, and conversion. The jury awarded Moss and Keating $2.1 million each in compensatory damages from Brian and Marco, with Brian owing Moss and Keating an extra $5 million each, with Marco owing Moss and Keating an extra $3 million each. Overall, David Tyler Moss and Brendan Keating got paid $10,100,000 each from this, making Brian $14,200,000 less rich. That's all there really is to say about this situation. There's like 16 more pages of legal bullshit, but none of that's really important, apart from a couple of things that I'll talk about later, but that's all for this chapter. Before commentary channels hit the front page of YouTube in early 2015-ish, the predecessor to this was the rant genre, which consists of people talking to a camera about their opinions on topics both on and off the platform, and one of the most infamous rant channels that hit the page in early 2011 to early 2012-ish was called LifeInATent. Joining YouTube on the 14th of January 2010, Brian created the LifeInATent channel and started uploading these rant videos. That was until the early start of 2011, when he started to upload content in the style of Ray William Johnson's series Equals 3.
And use old people words like soda pop and whippersnapper and...
If you don't know who Ray William Johnson is, then holy fuck, but he was this really big YouTuber who would show viral clips and give funny quips and reactions both before and after showing the video. I don't really know why he was that big if he was just doing that, but he was. It's fine for someone to make similar content to another YouTuber, however, one stark difference between Brian and Ray is that Ray portrayed his videos as an actual reaction/commentary of the said viral clips, mainly by showing his face in the thumbnail and having a different title. But Brian didn't do any of that. He'd make everything look like the video is the viral video clip that the viewers wanted to watch, and then boom, his ugly mug of a face would show up. This quite obviously made a lot of people pissed at Brian, especially because clickbait at this time was an epidemic due to the YouTube algorithm of old not really taking the idea of using a thumbnail in such a way into account. Nevertheless, Brian kept using clickbait to somehow gain an audience, and eventually got into the YouTube Partner program in order to run ads on the channel. It was also at this time Brian met, dated, and also married Chrissy Barmore, better known as the bitch Megan Lee Hart. This tag team duo harassed and viewbotted pretty much everyone who stood in their way of gaining as many views as possible, and these two quickly became the most hated YouTubers during the early 2010s. In particular, Brian and Chrissy harassed Alejandra Guyton, aka the original Reply Girl, blah blah blah, link to my original video like up here or something. During Happy Cabby's tirade against Chrissy, he also decided to take some shots at Brian, which ultimately did nothing to stop him from harassing Alejandra, but nice try. On March 11th, 2011, a magnitude 9 undersea earthquake occurred in the ocean roughly 70 kilometers east of Tohoku, a region in the northeast of Japan, which also caused a tsunami. The earthquake was felt all over Japan, with most of the damage being dealt within the Tohoku region, mainly in the cities of Sendai and Ishinomaki. Overall, this disaster resulted in 28,554 casualties, 19,759 of which being deaths, and 2,553 victims are still missing to this day. Days later, Brian immediately uploaded a video covering this topic, and at the end of the region, he said the worst possible thing he could have said ever.
Anyway, thumbs up this video for epic earthquake, and I'm not trying to make a joke of this. This is a pretty epic sized earthquake. It's a 8.
Brian, you can adamantly deny owning FuturisticHub. You can adamantly deny of using cash gifting website scams, but you cannot deny that you said this. You decided to say thumbs up to a disaster that killed thousands of innocent people and post it to YouTube as a joke. You can't deny you made fun of something so tragic that even if everything that you say is true, you are still an absolute complete asshole for this in my eyes. Nothing can change my mind that you are an absolute dick for saying this on camera. Not. How dare you? This event sparked a whole lot of other YouTubers to dunk on him, leading to a debate between Brian and Blockbuster Critic, which had Brian look like even more of a fool than usual. Then, at some point between June and July of 2011, the LifeInATent channel got terminated for violating YouTube TOS. On the 25th of October 2012, Brian allegedly opened up the FuturisticHub channel to post Minecraft animations. Brian, during court hearings related to the video game's lawsuit, claims that the FuturisticHub and Wildcraft channels were owned and maintained by his current wife, a lady named Holly Bone, who I'll talk about more later in the video. However, during a hearing on the 30th of March 2016, Brian clearly stated that the FuturisticHub channel was his Minecraft animation channel on YouTube. Interesting. Furthermore, the woman, the cyberbully, the legend is back, Chrissy Barmore has resurfaced. She came on to testify as Brian's ex-wife. They divorced after 5 years for... what was it again, Chrissy?
It was abuse and infidelity.
Yes. Brian allegedly abused Chrissy and also cheated on her, presumably with Holly. Chrissy came on to state in the Zoom hearing that Brian saying he doesn't own FuturisticHub is a lie, and that she saw Brian create and manage the FuturisticHub and Wildcraft channels. In December of 2013, FuturisticHub would just post actual Minecraft animated porn onto their channel under the title of Needed in Minecraft. Muda from Some Ordinary Gamers would make a video about this a couple years later, and YouTube would finally take the video down just a couple of days after that video got up. Somehow, Keemstar got into some drama with Brian during early 2015, and Brian then started to allegedly harass Keem by sending constant threatening messages and apparently stalking him. In response, Brian posted a video to the FuturisticHub Twitter account, now suspended just like every single other Twitter account he owned, stating that he'd be filing a lawsuit against Keem. I just wanted to announce a class action lawsuit against Daniel Keem. If anyone else has been affected, myself included, by this shit channel, please contact me ASAP so we can get this thing started. Furthermore, he would film himself calling his local police department to file a report against Keem, dubbing him a quote-unquote cyberbully. Yeah, somebody called the police on me last night, and I just want to verify if there's a police report. Yeah, we can do that. What address were the police sent to? Well, actually, they called from the internet, said I was cyberbullying. His name is Daniel Keem. However, it seems that this alleged stalking from Brian would die down after a few years due to him having different targets. And one of them will probably be me after this video uploads, so, yay! On January 16th, 2021, YouTuber Wacky TV made his video on FuturisticHub, briefly touching on the cringe animations and the Twitter beef between Brian and Keem. Shortly after the video was uploaded, garnering a couple thousand views, a comment by a channel called Wildcraft stated that the real owner of FuturisticHub was a woman named Holly, aka Brian's now wife, and urged Wacky TV to take the video down. Shortly after receiving the comment, Wacky TV would also get an email from Brian, basically restating that he wasn't the owner of FuturisticHub despite the tweets and videos of him showing his face under that username. Furthermore, he threatened Wacky in the email by stating the following. You know how many YouTube channels I've taken down in the past 12 years? Enough to make many people afraid of me. Shiver me timbers, Brian, you scared my fucking socks off. I'm gonna censor the feed. After the comment and the email, Wacky also received Twitter DMs from the Wildcraft account, which is also terminated just like everything else, repeating the statement that Hollybone is the true creator and owner of this shit-ass Minecraft animation channel, When Wacky then replied with the court transcripts to refute this statement, the user started to spam the word stop over and over again. This type of behavior just keeps repeating itself whenever some random on Twitter would point out that Brian Martin might be the actual creator of the FuturisticHub channel, or even merely criticize the channel for its terrible animations. But why? If there's so much evidence for the statement that Brian is the owner of FuturisticHub, who uploaded a Minecraft animation of Keemstar getting the long end of an alien anal probe and uploaded that to YouTube.
Let's get right into the anus.
And furthermore, it doesn't really matter who's actually behind the account. Why do Brian and Holly go through such length to keep the argument that Holly is the owner and creator of FuturisticHub, Craftastic, Wildcraft, whatever the fuck they are? Why? I don't know, but I believe it has something to do with the court cases and the lawsuits that he keeps on getting himself into, because him and Marco keep on trying to dispute the $20 million lawsuit against Brendan and Ty. That's pretty much it for the history of Brian Martin, the lolcow, but there is something that I want to talk about because no one else has talked about this, and it's something that really bugged me when I was doing research on the $20 million lawsuit. Since Brian Martin is a lolcow, most of his internet career has been documented pretty well thanks to Trollpedia, Encyclopedia Dramatica, and YouTube channels dedicated to preserving videos that involve this scumbag. One of these channels is titled Brian Martin, quote-unquote, FuturisticHub, Lawsuit Trial Archive, and it's where I got quite a bit of my information pertaining to part 2 of this video. During Chrissy's testimony, she claims that Brian and Holly had some type of relationship as early as 2010, and Brian even allegedly flew from the US to the UK to meet up with Holly before the FuturisticHub channel was created, and apparently fell in love with her.
I actually heard it back in 2010 when I met Brian through his LifeInATent channel. She had an account that she commented on his videos on, and he would sort of make suggestive comments back to her. He told me that he met her, he went out to the UK to meet her and fell in love with her.
Now if we look at the testimony of Holly Bone, I'll let this clip speak for itself.
Miss Bone, what's your date of birth?
My date of birth is the 27th of October, 1999.
Okay. Wait. According to Chrissy, Brian flew over from the US to the UK to meet an 11-year-old girl and fell in love with her. Even if we take the things that Brian and Holly say at face value, let's say Holly Bone is the true owner and creator of FuturisticHub, Wildcraft, Craftastic. Brian, allegedly, manages the channel and does voice acting for a prepubescent teen, not even a prepubescent teen, a preteen. During this time fell in love with her and married her almost immediately after Chrissy Barmore divorced him on the 31st of December in 2018.
Well, hold on. You fell in love with her, this 12-year-old girl. You ultimately let me finish my question. Let me finish my question, okay? You meet this 12-year-old girl, young lady, and over the years, you get to know her. This is what you're telling the court, at least. And ultimately fall in love with her.
That shit's creepy as fuck. I'm not gonna lie. Brian Martin is a perfect example of the Streisand effect. The more you try and censor people from talking about something, more people will learn about it and spread it. Every time he attempts to threaten and silence other creators from talking about his past, more and more people learn about the lolcow that he is. Jesus Christ, these animations are awful. Oh, not makeup.